supporting you in your dog parenting journey. The Dynamic Dog Owner with Debbie Potter.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Dynamic Dog Owner, the podcast designed to support you, the dog parent, in your dog parenting journey. So we talk about all things dog, and I'm always very up for giving opinions, of course, but where there's mixed opinions, I'll always look at the other side of the coin. So you may remember last year, I remember because it was after my holiday to Norfolk, we did an episode about ball throwers and why I don't like them and the effect it had on Rem when I used one for a couple of days when I was on holiday to save my hands getting dirty in the sand. Check back that episode. Now today we're going to talk about ball throwers again, but from a different perspective. If you do use one, how you can be a responsible dog owner thrower. So what I'm talking about is the big plastic kind of handles that you hold a ball in. You grab the end of it, you fling it. Fling it, chuckers, whatever you want to call it, ball thrower, So I'm not a fan personally. I don't like them. I don't use one. I don't recommend people use them. But obviously people do use them, and that's absolutely fine, because as we will always say about anything, I will give you opinions. I will give you the positives and negatives. I will never tell you what to do. It's up to you, because it's your life, it's your dog. Yes, of course I have opinions, because who doesn't? But at the same time, I appreciate not everyone's life is my life. Not everyone's opinions are the same as mine. And there are always two sides. And at the end of the day, you do what's right for you. I will always just highlight where there could be pitfalls and there could be really positives. And you know, what's right for one person isn't right for everybody. So ball throwers. They're obviously great for getting your ball really far away from you, your dog chasing it, picking it up, bringing it back. Now, repetitive fetch isn't ideal for dogs because, generally it increases adrenaline and stress levels. It puts a lot of impact on the joints. So that's kind of my caveat of why I don't use them. But obviously I know people do, because it gives your dog a nice lot of exercise. Sometimes a little bit too much exercise and they get to the point where they are exhausted and then stop. But that's obviously a whole other topic for another day. There are other ways to use balls. I personally prefer hunting, hiding your ball and getting your dog to search for it. I prefer that. I know my dog prefers that. His behaviour is better with that. But naturally, some people like your ball throwers. They enjoy them. Their dogs enjoy them. They don't see a problem with them. Absolutely fine. That's your opinion. That's up to you. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to try and change your opinion. But sometimes it's just good to know why I don't like them. If this is your first episode and you've never listened to any others, I want to give a both sides of the coin approach. So personally, I don't agree with them. I don't think they're great for dogs, and they have a lot of negatives, but I know a lot of people do like them. And obviously they're great if you like playing with the ball with your dog in moderation, and you can't bend down, or I say it's muddy, your ball's slobbery, that kind of thing. They're very useful. That's why I used one on holiday. I didn't like the effect it had. So let's pull that one to one side. If you're a ball thrower user, how can you be the most responsible ball thrower there is? And this episode is inspired by a training session with a group of clients in a local park where somebody was using one. So the main thing is, I think, and this comes down to just general etiquette as well, is to be aware of other people who are in your space. So my view is that what I do with my dog shouldn't, or my aim is that it shouldn't negatively impact someone else's day. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself personally. But I don't want my dog to bark. I don't want my dog to go over and interact with other people unless they've invited it. I don't want my dog to steal other people's balls, lunches, picnics. I don't want my dog to jump up anyone with the muddy feet on, all that kind of stuff. I don't want anyone to go, oh, that dog. Naturally they're going to, because my dogs aren't perfect. It's never I hold myself high and go, this is where we're at. It is that I have an aim. I don't always meet it, but I try, and it's my intention to never negatively impact someone. So how we can often see that with ball throwers is when you're going to use a ball thrower in public, check your space out. Be aware of who is around you and how you throwing a ball might actually impact someone else. Now, the reason I say this, let me give you a little bit of backstory, is so we're on our group lead and learn sessions. This is a real world session where we take a group of dogs out to different places each week. Now, again, we're very hot that just because we're a group and we're organised and we're out, we shouldn't impact anyone else. So we are extra cautious about giving other people priority, making sure that we're out of the way, because I appreciate, someone walking towards a group of 6 dogs, even though they're all on lead and all under control, can be a little bit intimidating. So we very much try to go out of our way not to getting anyone else's way. Anyway, we were in a local park and we were walking around the edge of it. All the dogs were on lead because some of them were a little bit reactive. They're all learning to build their confidence up together. And they're almost like safe in their little unit and they feel safe. But so the world's a little bit scarier potentially. And there was a person across the other side of the field who had a dog, had a ball thrower, picked the ball thrower up and threw it pretty much in our direction. So that their dog came hurtling past our 6 dogs walking calmly and quietly on lead, and came hurtling past us within about 5 meters. Naturally, all of the dogs went, "Whoa, what is that?" 2 or 3 of them became obviously upset by it, barked, lunged, because it was a very, very quick dog running into their space. Now, obviously, everyone makes mistakes, but the ball was then thrown again in exactly the same direction and causing exactly the same response. And that happened 2 or 3 times. The person then threw the ball and the dog ran across the path just as a child was coming along the path with their bike, which, naturally could have hurt the child. They were running through the outdoor gym each time, the dog, obviously not the person. So people are in the outdoor gym, the dog's charging through it. Now, that's fine, I appreciate everyone wants to do what they want to do with their dog, but just look at the implications it has on other people. If you're using a ball thrower, use it in an open space where it's not affecting other people. So don't throw it directly towards kids playing. Don't throw it where your dog's going to run past people who aren't necessarily expecting it. Don't throw your ball thrower towards other people or other dogs who are on lead for a reason and it might upset them, or throw it when there's a group of dogs off lead. And then what I sometimes hear about is then people get annoyed because the other dog stole the ball. Well, you just threw it in front of them, so what do you expect? So thinking about how you can use them responsibly, find an open space that is quiet. Don't throw your ball towards people, throw it away from other people, throw it into an empty part of the park. Throw it so that it doesn't impact other people. If you see other dogs off lead, if you see other dogs interested, stop and pop it away for a minute so that you aren't creating a situation where the other dog can't make a choice to ignore it and then comes over to you naturally because you've got the fun stuff and then get annoyed at that person because the dog has come over to you, which can happen. If you see that what you're doing is directly upsetting someone or another person or another dog, then just stop and think, how can I change what I'm doing? Can I stop for a second? Can I throw it in a different direction? Around busy kids, busy, bikes, park, what have you, we have to remember that our dogs should be off lead and under control. So that means that they shouldn't basically upset anyone. Dogs are supposed to be under control and not causing any fear or any potential threat to other people. So if you were to throw a ball thrower, don't throw your dog, a ball thrower, and your dog then ran and knocked someone over, your dog is classed as dangerously out of control because they have hurt somebody. Now, obviously, anyone could get knocked over, anyone could fall over in a park, but if your dog has done that, then you are potentially going to be liable for injury to people, to dogs. Because as we know, when dogs chase a ball thrower, they move pretty damn fast and they tend to be very, very focused on the ball and have tunnel vision going, I don't care what else is around me. They move quick, they spin quick, they run, which If it's a busy place, there's loads of people moving, how can you avoid them hitting someone? How can you avoid them, cutting someone up or getting in their path? Because you can't predict what other people are going to do. Kids playing ball or on their bikes or running around, they're pretty unpredictable, let's face it. They're all over the place. If your dog were to knock someone over, that could cause them quite significant injury. If your dog was to run into, say, for example, a bike, yes, it will knock the person off their bike, but your dog could also get injured. If you're throwing it through a gym and they, like one of the outdoor gym things, because this is what obviously we saw in the park, and your ball gets released at a different time, they run in a different direction and they hit some of the equipment, that's a lot of injury to your dog. That's going to hurt because they're running at full pelt. So, I'm not saying never use them, because obviously everyone has their own opinions and everyone has, some dogs it wouldn't affect as much, but just think, how do I use it responsibly? So to me, that's little and often. It shouldn't be your entire walk throwing ball, because a lot of dogs then become really obsessed about the ball and forget about everything else. They forget to be a dog. They forget to wander, to mooch, to sniff, which obviously is where the negative stuff comes from. So it's fine to do it for a couple of throws and pop it away, but I wouldn't do it repetitively. I wouldn't throw your ball thrower towards groups of people, groups of other dogs off lead, all of that kind of thing. I'm trying to think what other situations. Just think about other people and what's going to happen. So don't throw it towards groups of people. Throw it into spaces. So a big open space or away from the busy area. That way you are just minimizing firstly, you're maximizing other people's opportunity to enjoy the park too, but you're minimizing risk. And I think this is where sometimes we forget that, you are responsible for your dog's actions. If something were to happen and your dog injured somebody, whether it was intentional or not, say, for example, they knocked a little old lady over, your dog is then potentially at risk of coming under the Dangerous Dogs Act through no fault of their own. So it's our job to protect that and to make sure that we are helping them to not get into any trouble that then has a negative impact on their life. So it's just about being responsible and thinking about other people, which we tend to, as a whole, sometimes struggle with. Humans, we do forget about other people and the impact we have on them. So I say this is inspired by the episode that we had in the park. Did it cause us any trouble? No. It obviously upset the dogs. In a way, you could see it as a really good training opportunity for them to learn how to cope and recover from a dog running quickly in their direction. In terms of the dog was so focused on the ball, they didn't care about the dogs, which was lovely. But they're a group of sensitive dogs. Next time, we just took a very, very wide berth and didn't go near that corner because the person was still throwing the ball. So we changed our route to avoid causing any upset to our dogs, which is not a problem. Because as I said, we focus on not just what we're doing, but trying not to impact other people. But I say, it's not about, we can't always protect other people. We don't have to be responsible for other people's actions and other people's comfort. But sometimes it's just being considerate and thinking, that happened once, it upset that dog, or that dog stole my ball. I won't do it anymore, or I'll do it in a different place. And just adapting what you're doing so that we've got mutual respect, really. Mutual respect between what other people are doing and ourselves, and making sure that we're not directly doing something that we've seen causes an issue and then repetitively do it. So yeah, hopefully, very short episode, but hopefully a very useful topic that if you are a ball thrower user, that you've got a little bit of advice on how to use them responsibly and just to limit the use maybe, so that they're not repetitively doing it all of their walk, and that you are using it in the best way possible so that your dog enjoys playing fetch, but also doesn't impact others and negatively impacts their time out. And that's obviously other dog owners and other general park users. So, as always, we talk about lots of different topics. If there's something you want us to cover, let us know, and we will add it to our list. Because we do have a long list of things to talk about. If you are looking for any further training support, check out our Instagram @PotterPaws. Check out the links in the description. We've got a link to get our newsletter, and also find out more about our Paw Academy, the online training hub. If you would like If you enjoyed the episode, if you think someone else needs to hear it, please share it with them. Feel free to like and comment. Have a wonderful week, and we will catch up with you again really soon. If you love listening to the podcast, why not check out the Potter Academy for practical dog training advice and how-to videos. The hub is broken down into sections, and hundreds of pre-recorded videos are there for you to start watching whenever you choose. You can watch them back as many times as you like. You also get to talk to other community members and discuss your training, and benefit from live Q&As with myself where you can get your questions answered. Why not make use of our 3-day free trial where you can access all of the content on the hub absolutely free for 3 days. The link is in the description below, so do check that out. And I can't wait to see you in the hub.
Thank you for listening to The Dynamic Dog Owner with me, Debbie Potter. See you next time.